Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to interact with you. Till 2 years ago, I was at the Tata Institute in Mumbai. Now I'm at the Defense Institute of Advanced Technology in Pune. Today I want to share some glimpses of the views I have had in several topics of physical world. Now, as you know, I am a physicist. Much of my time is spent in trying to understand tangible physical world, which involves light, matter, but also in this physical world. In fact, half of this physical world consists of concepts and theories which are free creations of our mind. That's also part of a physical reality of a physicist. So from atoms to stars and galaxies and to the entire universe itself, this material world exists. Along with that, there are concepts and theories and ideas. The whole combination, this wholeness is what we call as physical world. Now, when we talk about ephemeral existence, my attention goes to the part which is described in the being, the existence. And the extent of that duration is secondary to me. That's because creating something from nothing is the most significant part of physical world. These events are typically momentous, of short duration, but in fact the most significant of the whole existence of the physical system. Like the birth of a star, for example, the sun, which is 1 billion years old, would have its formation from a tenuous gas of hydrogen and other light elements through gravitational collapse would have taken only 1 billionth of its lifetime. And it does too. Stars collapse under gravity and they become neutron stars, black holes, and so on. This takes a fraction of a second. And there you see on the slide stars going around at the center of our Milky Way, going around something which is even invisible, which is a black hole. It's a supermassive black hole, which we cannot see. Yet, by looking at those stars, their orbits, we know there is some existence there, something which formed through gravitational collapse within milliseconds of its lifetime. A star has lived billion years or so. After that, when it becomes a black hole, that's a very, very brief event. Now, we physicists think of the physical world as one whole world where the same kind of physical laws are applicable. That's a privilege of a physicist to think of this whole world in a unified manner. For example, you can have phenomena in atoms, phenomena in neutron stars, all governed by the same physical laws. Here on the slides you see atoms of lithium. On the left side, atoms of lithium-7 isotope, and on the right side, atoms of lithium-6, 1 neutron less. That's all the difference between two isotopes. You see the physical behavior when they come together at very low temperature is so widely different. One is called bosons and other is called fermions. So this behavior of particles when they come together, how they behave collectively, is controlled by things which we don't really understand. Yet, we know that it's the same physics which works in those atoms which we create in the laboratory, and in that neutron star on the right, what is sustaining a neutron star is the same physics. So this is really remarkable. When a star becomes a neutron star by gravitational collapse, it also explodes into a supernova, which you can see bright on the sky. And the atoms, when they collapse under their own tendency to bunch together, that is called a Bose-Einstein condensate. So all these phenomena, they occur in the briefest of moments. Yet, this is a kind of phenomena which is also the basis of the stable existence of this world, what is called Pauli exclusion principle, which is behind the stability of matter itself. So there is a connection between this briefest of moments and the likely eternal existence. Now, I said we cannot see black holes, but we see pairs of black hole merging and making a bigger black hole, as it happened probably a billion years ago, in a blink of a gravitational wave event, by detecting those gravitational waves which come from very, very far away in the universe. For that, we need detectors which are very large, giant optical interferometers. And the event itself of the gravitational wave coming and giving us a signal lasts only a fraction of a second. There is another event which has been very significant for all our existence, which is the birth of the universe. Now, we don't know how this birth took place. It would have taken an amount of time which we cannot even imagine. However, we know today that all the significant events which gave rise to the universe of today and our own existence, it happened and got fixed in the first 3 minutes or even less. This is the book by Steven Weinberg, which explains some of these significant events. Now, the birth of the universe is a puzzle which the physicists have not understood very well. Can something material come out of nothing? Yes, but we think that such a birth has to follow a minimal set of rules called conservation laws. The total energy before and after the birth should be matched. In this case, it should be zero because it came from nothing. The total electric charge also should be zero. So the birth of the universe is a zero-sum event. It might have happened because it is possible only if the total matter energy is balanced by an equal amount of negative energy. But gravity provides all that matter, and the gravity of all the matter and energy in the universe provides exactly that condition. So it is possible. And now we are talking about time and clocks. But what's the difference? In fact, what we call as time is just clocks, physical processes. There is no difference between a candle which is burning and an atomic clock, even an atomic clock which is running. Both are time, both are clocks, both are equally valid clocks. In our imagination, in the physicist's imagination, and the way we learn, we think of time as something which flows from indefinite past to indefinite future. But this is not correct. There is only present, because what we call time is just physical processes. One physical process can be compared with another physical process. That's all we can do, that we call time. So there is only the present which is real. Rest are just records in space. Now, some of these deep questions about time I have discussed in the book I have written 2 years ago, where many of aspects of time, briefest and the longest, have been discussed. Now, in clocks in Einstein's special relativity, when one clock moves relative to another clock, time slows down when clocks move. And this is also seen in real applications like GPS. But why? Why does time slows down when clocks move? There is no answer in today's physics. There's absolutely no answer for that puzzle. All that we know is it does slow down. Now, the propagation of light is one great puzzle in physical theories. The fastest entity that we can feel is light. Many of our fundamental theories originated in the study of some aspect of light. The foundation of dynamics in current physics is largely built on a strange hypothesis, really strange hypothesis about the propagation of light, which is Einstein's light hypothesis. It's incredible. He says the relative speed of light is an invariant constant, no matter how fast one moves and observes light. This is strange. How are we to imagine that the propagation of a ray of light could be identical for an observer who flies away from it or for an observer who rushes forward to meet it? We cannot understand it. It is not really intelligible to the human mind and its experienced sense. And there are no experiments that can convince us in spite of popular myths. Now, some of these ideas have come in a fleeting moment of meditative contemplation. For example, in the case of Newton, the idea that gravity is universal by linking it with a gravity which attracts the apple as well as the moon came in some briefest thoughts. For Einstein, his happiest thought of his life was when he realized the equivalence of gravity and inertial acceleration. Now, it is rather strange. Physical world is presented to us. We think of many possibilities, and we are sometimes under an illusion. But just climbing up, willingness to climb certain steps, we can realize what is truth. The universe in the 1920s, when Einstein thought about his ideas, was only the Milky Way, some stars and some nebulae. But after Edwin Hubble's discovery in 1929, it was realized that the universe was much larger, 1,000 times larger, with 1 billion times more matter. So our real universe today is very, very large with large galaxies, and the universe which was known to Einstein was very, very tiny. Difference is the enormous gravity of 1 billion times more matter. So when two clocks are in space, it is not in empty space, it is in the presence of all the matter in the universe. And the clock is moving relative to all this matter in the universe, and that is the real reason of time dilation. In reality, it is the gravity of all the matter in the universe that controls the propagation of light, everything dynamical in the universe, including how time moves. The gravitational paradigm should now replace the century-old Einsteinian paradigm. It is like we are saying we had this geocentric system of solar system, which was replaced by the heliocentric system. It came from the thoughts of one man, Copernicus, supported by other people. Shift of the paradigm enables new physics like the theory of gravity. Now, we know that there are a lot of textbooks of special relativity. This is the basis of current physics. But Einstein's light hypothesis. It is incorrect. It was thought about when there was no knowledge, no significant knowledge about cosmology. There was no connection between Einstein's light and the gravity of the universe. But today we realize that everything dynamically is controlled by the gravity of the universe. So all this stuff written in such books should be eventually replaced by a new paradigm, which is what I have in this book, where the entire dynamics and relativity, the whole basis is the gravity of all the matter in the universe. Thank you very much.